back to the Corey Haim movie review series. Now we're up to episode 35, none of these have been released yet. So this is the first time and only time I'm doing it for the series. And this has been put on the back burner for a while. So tonight we are going to sit down. I say we because it's more than me. Now to the right, if you'd like to come in, we have Carl.
Hi.
And on to the left, on my left, your right, we have Matt. They have no idea what they're about to watch. Alright? So, I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. As a mystery movie, see, I could have invited them around to watch anything. For the love of movies, Mark was going to come. Hi, Hira. We were going to watch, we could have watched the Better FA movie at some point. That's conf, yeah. But today, we're watching Busted.
That looks like a fake cover.
This is what we're watching.
What year is this?
1996. Directed by Corey Feldman. Are you ready?
Is anyone?
So everyone will return at the end and we'll get a review of Busted.
Is that a UK release?
Yeah.
So tell it right, okay.
What's the matter? He's worried about this. We're going to do a bit of vlog entries, alright? We're not even 5 minutes into the movie. What's the matter? You want a vlog pad?
I'm not being funny, but are you insulting our intelligence by calling this a movie so bad?
I just need a notepad because I could already talk a lot about this and I want to forget it. I'm already trying to forget it.
Yeah. What's she been in?
Not that shower sequence wasn't like nice, pleasure. No,
Paper.
I thought you were going to get that right on. Try articulating that in the words, mate. So I think so far it is, I mean, it's tongue in cheek, right? He's trying his best to do comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm taking from it. I really don't know if... even like the Slut Fund. I mean, it's just like, this screamed like a college project. Like...
There, is that happy enough?
Oh, cheers.
Are we done? Get back to the movie. You got your notes? What's on your notes?
I made notes. First thing, that sort of briefing scene, where it's obviously that, you know, I thought this was going to be like a sort of serious film. I don't know why that, I didn't have a clue, but it's obviously, it's not, and you said this is obviously tongue-in-cheek.
Tongue-in-cheek, easy. This is supposed to be like laughed at.
But I feel like it's supposed to be funny, but it's not.
I think with Bellman, he's such a... he's fucking so out there that he probably does think this is pretty impressive. He probably does think this is a really good, like, kind of funny comedy. And it just, there's no consistency, it just shot to shot with the worst camera angles I've seen in the camera. Like, I don't know what he's doing with the camera.
It's Corey Feldman making a film saying, this is a story, I've written this story.
Wait, hold on a minute. Where did you see the story?
I've done this, I'm directing this, that's what goes. No one's.
What, the jaywalking? No one like the jaywalking?
The jay. I mean, I'm more disappointed that it took us more than 5 seconds to realise what that gag was. She would, just for the viewers, it was literally a half-dressed woman walking across the street with a metal pole with a giant letter J. I mean, that was the joke.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be like going down like the Naked Gun route, or like National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
National Lampoon screamed this.
That's what he's going for, I feel.
Except for like on the, it's clearly a painted grey starship.
Yes.
Well, this looks like it's been a set that's been told, right, we're finished with it now, with about 2 days before we strip it down and anyone got news for it.
And then we've just
that'll save some money.
Yeah.
We've just had a dissolve to porn.
So my second note was the shower sequence, where it's just Corey Feldman. Like I said, he's just trying to input his porn star friends into a film.
But literally input. So you've got like 2 girls going at it, very soapy. He weirdly puts himself in the middle, and he doesn't even look like he fits the scene. It's almost like he's last minute going, actually, hold on a minute, while you're there, I'm going to get in there as well. And he doesn't seem to be doing much to help.
Yeah.
He's just there like a horny little teenager.
But yeah, it was just bizarre. And it gets more bizarre because it goes on for far too long.
It's like
It should
4
have been-
minutes long. It should be.
You know, you see double impact when Van Damme's on the boat and he's fantasising
Yeah.
about his brother's Chad's Chad and Alec, which one? But anyway, he's fantasising about his brother's girlfriend with him, and it's intercutting.
Yeah.
But that's it's a serious film.
Yeah.
But it's the intercuts are like flash. Back to Van Damme driving the boat. Flash. This is just.
This is just one.
It seemed like it was 2 or 3 minutes, and it just was bizarre.
What's scary is that's probably like a 10-minute scene that they filmed and they managed to like break it down.
What's your next note?
Camera work, editing, same music
Black
throughout, just crap.
I mean, it's kind of.
Wow.
I mean, it's porn. It's porn music at best. You know, that's the thing. You know, it's
We're
just
not
like,
even there yet. We're only like a little bit into it.
I'll start.
Oh, I was just going to introduce.
Next time you invite me to come around and watch a film, I want to know what it is beforehand.
Yeah.
Look, right. This is part of the Corey Haim review series, and this film is definitely one film that is what the fuck right bang in the middle of his career. When you talk about Corey Haim's ability in this movie, not ability, availability, he's there and then he's not there. He just disappears. He's mentioned throughout the movie because he's completely missing through the movie. Wherever you listen to the IMDb myths of him being filmed, the fact that he's billed as Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, it's just bonkers that happens. He appears briefly, looking very slim and pale. He has 2 scenes. It looks like he's working a day. Now, to you guys, what did you think?
No comment.
Fucking abysmal. I mean,
I've
it's
got
more the
nothing
fact
more to
that
say on
like.
it.
Okay, well, let's just try and be somewhat positive. I think this would be like literally footage of as close as we'll ever get to the inside of Corey Feldman's head. You can imagine when you see the shit he talks online and the way he goes on about it, that's his world. He's managed to convince a handful of his porn star friends and said, do you fancy coming to make a film with us? Which,
Tax write-off.
well, yeah, but the fact of the matter is half of these porn stars probably lost money. They probably made more money from being porn stars and making this film.
What do you think there could be a busted version out there that actually has porn in it? It's a soft porn.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure.
was it a porno that then
I'm
Corey
sure
Feldman
we did
get the
have
script and thought, actually, I can add jokes to this to make it a legitimate film?
Surely, like the shower scene, for example, he let that camera run and he had sex with them.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is. I mean, the porn music, obviously the stars in it, clearly porn stars. And yeah, there's just no plot to it really at all.
I'd say the first half an hour was sort of like, oh, this is so bad, it's good. It's not a film I could sit at home and watch by myself in company.
This is the only way it's acceptable.
Only for the first half an hour, and then I was like, you know what? It's not so bad. It's good. It's just bad.
It's I mean, the jokes were just absolute, like, throwaway children jokes. It wasn't even like it wasn't cleverly timed. It wasn't like, see, National Lampoons or Naked Gun stuff like that. Like, you can watch them now and think they're terrible jokes, but it's delivery.
National
It's structure.
Lampoon.
This has got no structure. It's got no delivery. It's just basically someone said, write as many jokes on a piece of paper as you can, and then just have it pinned up so when you're doing a scene, go and picking a bone with you. You know what I mean?
National Lampoon's All Weapon 1 is one of the best National Lampoon's movie spoof, and Feldman is in it, so is the lass who comes in to be the lieutenant. But this film I think misfired as well because like this, where it should have came out on VHS and it never did, it came out on
It shouldn't have done.
Well, yeah.
They should have
No,
gone.
but like when you talk about the Corey Haim, Corey Feldman era, this is obviously the release of it on DVD in the UK, so it has been released in the UK. It has been released in Germany and stuff like that on VHS. But like this was just like bootlegged out. Do you know what I mean? This is a very cheap, very limited run, and you normally see this in them, them big family packs.
Yeah.
You get loads of actors in small roles. You can normally see it in there because it is a slim
From like a
version.
one-word film with an extra 20 attached to it.
Where just written on the stars, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, that's the box that you would find that in. So I think as well, I think this could have been like, I think it's really bad from cover. I think if this came out around that mid-time of the mid-90s when it was made,
I think this would have it would have made money. That's the thing. I don't think that's made a loss of money, because it's going to be sold as what it is. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Ron Jeremy pops up in it. Do you know what I mean? So there's the massive connection to the porn industry we're talking about. It's never outside the set. There's one scene outside, and that's it. It's all in that bound location that literally looks like a sci-fi TV show that has been splattered, painted grey on top of it. I mean, there's a bit where we're talking about where we could see the seal.
I mean, does it belong in the 90s? Would it have served itself better being in the 80s when...
I mean, it's an 80s forward film.
I mean, it is an 80s film, but I feel like if this came out like 10 years beforehand, would it have done it? Would it have been like more laughed with rather than at? I think the 90s...
There's no scope, there's no budget.
That's the thing, there's no budget, even if it came out earlier, if it had a bigger budget and actually someone writing good jokes... Yeah, it might have done well.
But there's never more than one camera. There's no other, you know what I mean? It's one camera angle, that's it. You know, there's never more than one camera.
That camera work.
And then dissolving a shot over a shot, already shot, to come back to the shot and never going away from the shot. It's like, you just don't do that, you know? Calls already right.
Well, no, I wanted to check the budget, but obviously IMDb has nothing on it.
So the last time we did this was for Prey, and we've been trying ever since. And do you think I've really destroyed this? Because it's great to have Matt and Carl here. It's great to watch a movie. We haven't bothered ordering a pizza and fucking it up like we did last time. But again, this is the 36th or 35th film in Corey Haim's series, and there's still about 5 films left. And it's awesome to have these guys here for this. And I'm scarring them with this as well.
I hope this was the worst one.
It's one of the worst ones. When you talk about Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, this is like, it's a shame that it was this and then Lost Boys of Tribe and that was it. Away from obviously the 2 Corey series, you know, again, this is the one where, you know, they just came off the back end of Dream Little Dream 2, Blown Away, National Lampoon's Last Resort, and then this. And, you know, National Lampoon's Last Resort looks like an award-winning movie compared to this. It clearly does.
Do you think, I mean, obviously you are, without a doubt, like die-hard fan of the 2 Corys, and...
Are you?
It's very obvious, but do you think outside of the Lost Boys, they haven't really done anything good?
Together?
At all.
There's some gems.
Because the thing is, this is why I'm asking you, because you've seen it. I can honestly say I've seen about maybe 3... probably now 4 Corey Feldman films, and I watched The Birthday. You know, we still need to do that podcast.
We can do that.
I wish I'd never watched that, honestly. It's in here now. It's in here.
Well, see, now you have to tell people you've seen it.
It's in my head.
And I just feel like, because The Lost Boys is kind of like that kind of, you know, cult film that just works. But outside of the Lost Boys, the Haims...
License to Drive is a good film.
License to Drive, Dream Little Dream, it begs second viewing. It definitely has an 80s vibe. And I think, you know, like, the friendship was there. I just don't think they got many offers and they went off and did other stuff. Feldman has worked very well as voice acting because he was in the Turtles and stuff like that in the 90s. He's a name, he's worked. Haim, on the other hand, obviously had a rock and roll kind of fucking roller coaster fucking career. But both have delivered very dramatic performances under the right direction, but they've had to work, they've had to live. They came back and they did Blown Away, which is a very adult take on their stuff. Last Resort is a really funny film, but again, I've got that thing, you can see them just let loose. And then this has came around. I just think, like, you know, I think if they're both still alive now, I think there would have been some more resurgence, but they were just teamed up, you know.
Well, listen, I mean, don't get me wrong, as kid actors, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Stand By Me, I love The Goonies. I think as a kid actor, Feldman was actually really quite good at what he did with what he had. Whereas as an adult actor, I've just never really been able to...
He still delivers lines like he does in The Burbs. Like The Burbs is a great film.
The Burbs again, yeah. So as a child actor, I think he's done really, really well as a child actor, but as an adult actor, I don't think he's serious. Yeah.
But he's been able to maintain, but also live in the shadow of him, because everyone always gets them mixed up about who was more into drugs and who's good. I mean, Feldman doesn't help himself with what he wants to do, but again, at least he he's famous but wants to be like Michael Jackson, and it's very clear in what he does. But he's not scared to go out there and go at us because he's living his life. He's 50-year-old now.
I mean, it's working for him. Like I say,
again,
he's doing. It didn't matter how bonkers he is. He seemed to be doing well for himself. So you never take that away from him.
But you can never take. I mean, I think under the right director, he could actually deliver an award-winning performance like The Birthday. It just.
I'd beg to differ on that, but that's fair enough. Yeah.
It just needs the right. Like look at Brandon Fraser.
Think as an adult, I just don't think he can act.
No, I mean it's more the case of like he knows how to deliver a line, but that's the difference between acting and acting, because you can hit your mark, you can deliver the line in a way that you can like as a kid actor, like yes, it's always going to be portrayed like that, and he still does that as an adult, and that's somebody he hasn't shaped.
Of course, if you bring in a different different director, a good director, you're going to get a good performance out of him. Just push him, you know what I mean? You'll get it out, he can act. You've seen it, like talking about The Burbs. He's awesome in The Burbs. Yeah.
But they really had to push him in that.
Did they?
Yeah, I mean, he left bubbles in his fucking trailer.
But was that the one where he was just like totally out of it? He didn't love the scene. He didn't love being there. He didn't think it was worthy of it and stuff like that.
Well, that's it.
He's done an interview about that where he said he just around Tom Hanks and that he couldn't get into it because he just didn't feel like he belonged on that set. So I can see why pushing him to.
But again, directing as well. But again, well, this is more aimed at Haim, the series, and Haim is hardly in the movie. He is a blink and you miss him, and you can see him just delivering the few lines there. But it
I've cut around. You can tell he probably
he's missing. He's AWOL all the way through the movie.
Yeah.
So it would definitely go down in one of the worst of his the films. But again, it's all about the availability. Is it available on VHS? And films like this, disappear. But the thing is, with this being released on DVD, there are some absolutely brilliant films they've made and never seen the light past VHS. And it's all about distribution. Like this is Avenue Entertainment. You know what I mean? Blink and they're gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you in the outtakes. So I'm guessing you don't watch another one, no?
I mean, are we talking the same caliber? No,
I'm looking at
it.
You should watch another film.
I've got one for next time though, and I'm going to keep it secret. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
I don't think you're going to get an audience if you do that.
I don't need to know what it is. I just need to know that it's better than this.
It's better than this, but it's
not saying much.
It's on that level. But next time we could have pizza.
Get pizza next time.
Are you going to plan how to order one?
We'll preempt the pizza.
We'll
So that's the outtake. No,
we've managed to get a £10 pizza, but delivery is £50.
I've got. What the fuck happened last time? Was not the delivery more than the pizza?
No, you tried to order delivery and then you told us how much it was going to cost, and we wondered if you get it from the same bloody postcode, because it was like I think the one you picked was like really expensive delivery.
It was.
And then we decided to go with another one, but then apparently we couldn't get that right because.
So hang on, right? Let's just fill this in here, just as a random outtake here, because we're talking about availability here. So I said that in the review. I've said that, this is something that really should belong on VHS. I think it's been bought up and distributed with like years later on a cheap DVD when people were just like, getting shit really quick before we had Netflix. It's been a while since we sat here and watched Prey. Prey has not become available on physical format, and this is something that basically, if you look at Predator and all personally for me myself, having a VHS, steelbooks, DVDs, laserdiscs, big fucking heads, throwing this at you guys there, away from this, why do you think Prey hasn't been released?
Well, I think that's one of the things that is so attractive to people having streaming systems now, like Disney and stuff like that, because again, we were talking about this earlier in the week. The concept of it is now that the money in terms of distribution and making everything physically, boxes, discs and everything like that, it just doesn't make sense.
But
I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it would. I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of
like-
people out there who wants physical media, but
you look at the recent stuff, they've done Lightyear, they've done Banshees of Inisherin.
That hasn't come out in physical.
It has. It's came out physical. Yeah, it's out. That's out. I don't know if that's Disney or Netflix. It's Disney actually. Yeah.
it's under Disney's umbrella.
Strange World has come out. Doctors.
That's all the Disney's. Though.
That's all the Disney's. But why not capitalise on
So
Prey?
it might be a Fox thing then, because obviously, like I say, we know that Disney bought Fox out, but then there might be rules. There might be, you're only allowed to show it. You can't sell it.
Maybe it's Hulu because it's a lot of Hulu in America.
Yeah, Hulu's
Because
connected as well.
Like to me personally, if it came out, I would buy it for the shelf. It's got steelbook potential still. It's got alternative artwork. I just don't see, like you talk about now and like discovering the films. I mean, that film there is 25 years old, and you guys have never even seen it or heard of it until tonight.
But have you seen that though? This is just some book's YouTube video 9 days ago. So Disney's getting back. There's like a new bloke in charge. Have you seen that news?
Bob Iger's back in.
Yeah. So he's wanted to get back into physical media because it makes money for them.
Yeah.
The people I encounter people all the time who lose the shit that Disney brings something out, and they have recently adopted the American style of thin line Blu-rays, not on DVD, thin line Blues, but then obviously bringing their alternative artwork out, like for Lightyear and Doctor Strange. And not for some reason. But again, it's one.
But the numbers must be not that great. I mean, Steelbook, for example, was shit hot for the last 7 or 8 years now. They've sold so well. Yet there was once upon a time where any MCU film that got a Steelbook release on Zavi will say, as soon as that hits, if you didn't get that on day one, it was sold out. There's a lot of stuff now that gets oversold really badly now. Doctor Strange hadn't even come close to selling out.
Ghostbusters was just that. But again, with that, the next problem is 4K. You have 4K, you've got Blu-ray and DVD. And DVD, for fuck my life, has still hung around.
Yeah. I don't think 4K is even remotely that attractive as an offer these days.
No, I mean, unless you've got the telly, unless you've got the
whole system,
you've got the whole system. But again, people will come in and buy 4K because they will say it's not as good as streaming. Like, they want a
streaming.
copy.
I think I've personally never had. I don't know about you. I've never had any issues. I know you have Amazon. You don't always get the best quality on Amazon, do you?
That's always at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
never had issue with any of my streaming at all.
Yeah.
But that being said, that is crucial. If you live somewhere where it's just not feasible, then there is a massive difference between physical media and streaming.
Well, it's guys who come in and spend a fortune, and they'll come in and they've got the money because they'll spend 150 quid a bop on physical media on 4K, and they'll buy it because they'll go, well, it doesn't have to, it goes on WMOS or whatever it goes on about, but they're on about frame rates and like it dropping out and the signal not being strong enough, and it's one thing. It's like physical media is, again, it's one of those things where collectors will want it, but again, in the perception eyes of someone will just walk in and go, don't know why I got all these, I've got a Fire Stick. And again, films like that may appear up in Fire Sticks, packaged wrong or different.
Well, so not going on a tangent on physical media and stuff like that, but one of the massive things that, as a consumer, absolutely bugs the shit out of me is that they've gone so backwards with the whole benefit of a DVD, Blu-ray, stuff like that. Even Disney teased it with the idea of having a selection screen where it had special features. I thought, that's why I used to get a DVD, that's why I used to get the Blu-rays, because at the end of the day I wanted to see the interviews, I wanted to see the behind the scenes. Like even if you look at something like that as old as Lord of the Rings now, like some of the special features is stellar compared to like now when you spend 50 quid on a Steelbook 4K Blu-ray and you open it up and it's just like, that's it, there's not an interview, there's not special
audio commentary.
There's no audio commentary, there's just nothing, there's no effort being put into it, whereas I feel like if anyone's struggling with the idea, why should physical media be trumping anything else on there? That's why I should be doing it, because...
Well, it's like stuff like Psycho Goldman and stuff like that, because obviously that's a fucking really low budget, crazy ass film, and it got a physical release on Blu-ray. But like, even like, if you're going to distribute films like that and you're worried about them, then fucking sign them. As a creator, as a director, as maybe as a cast, like, I mean, and like, it's like the Kickstarter kind of thing and all that, getting it out there as a distribution. But As I say, it's one thing with that. It's just again the availability of them films then, and now I think it's a weird time. I think it's kind of, the again talking about Prey, why Prey wasn't available. Prey came out. I would buy alternative versions of it because I just want it in my collection. But I want to hear the director talk about why it is, and I want to hear about him. Oh, but in the woods and this, and again, if you talk about if you look at Predator 2 on a different random, it has 2 audio commentaries. One by the director who was very big and upcoming at the time, and but also reflecting on it and knows he made mistakes. But he also the 2 writers and the people who wrote the original to this one, and it's stuff you learn from the commentary. It's
a complete enhancement, because at the end of the day you can watch a film and like it, but then can have a completely different outlook of it once you've heard the director say, this is why I went with this, and this is why I chose that line, and you sit there going, that totally changed my perspective.
But I haven't revisited it because I don't have it on physical media. I don't have it. I go, I'll watch that in bed tonight because I've seen it. I've sat there glued to it, but I'm not going to sit down and beg for second viewing, sitting there. You know what I mean? Because we were all sitting there watching it, going. And no one's wanting to say anything, and no one's wanting to jinx it because we wanted it to be what it was.
I like having I've got those hoarder tendencies, which you have too. So I love having a shelf.
I
love
having stuff on
you
the shelf.
empty a shelf and fill a shelf as quick as anyone I've ever seen it do it. It's like restocking a fridge with you. You fucking turn it off a bit, then you're like, shit, no, gap, bye. Then you get these messages going, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? What about this? Look how pretty this. Look how pretty this. And you'd be like, is that a text message? Is someone going, no, just Matt sending you a fucking million pictures of a vinyl.
I do with my records. I'm like, I need to make space for new ones.
But with the physical media, the way it's permanent, whereas now nothing's safe.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
The one I always bring up as and it's like kind of sound pervy in a way because of the sort of stuff that they've changed.
Splash.
Because at the end of the day, like when I want to watch Splash,
perfectly preserved.
Yeah, it might not be the best film in the world, but for me it's nostalgia. I love watching that film going, it is, maybe some of those jokes wouldn't land today, maybe the effects don't look as good, but when I watch an old film like that, I want to feel, that's what I remember growing up and watching.
You want
Whereas
to swear
now when I watch my favourite film and I realise it's been cut up and edited.
Dubbed, corrected.
Corrected. And there's the 4Ks, going back to that as well. That's not perfect yet. There's so many. I was watching a review the other day of Plane, Trains and Automobiles, and it's awful. It's like they all look so waxy because they've tried to digitise it so much. It's like issues. I'd rather go on. Like I watched Lord of the Rings on 4K for the first time. It was fucking awful. I got through the first disc and I thought it looks, in some ways, the actual New Zealand shot beautiful, but the second you go into any form of like CGI or special effect, it just doesn't look good because it's fake. I still watch DVDs over and over again.
But you look at like physical media as well, and you look as a collector, and you go, right, okay. Again, it's pointless at Rocky here. They bring out the Rocky box set 1 to 4. They don't acknowledge 5 or Balboa at this point. Fair enough, there's a bit of a hoo-ha about Creed, and they want to keep Creed separate, right? But we're talking about jumping on the 4K here. They then bring out the box set and number 1 next week with number 2. Next week after that, number 3 and number 4. That decision to do that as well as a collector, to walk in there and go, do you want the box set of 4? But then you're going to have the box set of thing, and then you go, hang on a minute, where the fuck's 5? At least 5, and then think about Balboa. And it's one of those things about, I can't understand that, and can't understand why Prey hasn't been released as a physical media. And again, it's all about physical media because, again, we'll just go back to this to keep it in this outtake. That is pristine. And it's probably...
I could think of his age, absolutely.
Again, it's been barely watched because it's 88 minutes or 82 minutes. Matt is never going to get back.
Because he barely watched it, an understatement.
And at one point we thought Matt was going to get up and just switch it off. It literally just said, like, you just felt like he got up and walked, and we didn't know what he was going to do. Yeah.
I'll come on again and watch it if it gets a 4K release.
Mindy Feldman.
I've noticed that as well. I've wondered if it's his sister, or maybe he's...
I don't know, but for now,
it would be awkward if it was.
Thanks for watching. This has been the review, and also ranting about physical media, but it's been the review for Busted. And next time, I've already got one in me brain, and now hopefully next time I might actually film it.
Well, you want to say our eyes rolling that much?
No, but the thing is about films you haven't seen, like Matt was just like,
I'm just gonna come for the pizza.
this was Matt watching the film.
Yeah.
Goodbye for now.